What if I told you the most important event in the Murderbot Diaries, the one that shaped everything Murderbot becomes, happened before the story even began? We're talking about DeltFall, a name that echoes through the books like a ghost, a company, a tragedy, and a turning point. They weren't just another survey team, they were a symbol of what Murderbot lost and what it slowly begins to fight for. But who were they really? What happened to them? And why is their destruction so central to everything that follows? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In this video, we're digging deep into the mystery and meaning behind DeltFall. We'll break down the facts, the fallout, and some of the biggest fan theories from both the books and the Murderbot TV series. Spoiler warning, we're going full deep dive here, including details from All Systems Red and later novellas. If you're not caught up, hit pause, do yourself a favor, and come back later. For everyone else, let's dive into one of the most haunting events in the Murderbot universe.
Anyone in range of this transmission, please respond.
Who is DeltFall? DeltFall is a non-corporate aligned exploratory survey team in the Corporation Rim. Unlike most companies or clients in Murderbot's world, DeltFall operates a little differently. They're part of a joint venture made up of 3 non-corporate entities, and they're large enough to require 3 full sec units for their planetary survey mission. That alone makes them stand out. The standard company practice is to assign 1 sec unit per 10 people, and DeltFall's team was clearly big enough to demand serious security. Their base camp, also no joke. 3 interconnected habitats, plenty of equipment, and a presence that suggests DeltFall wasn't just another ragtag survey team poking around an unclaimed world. They were invested, committed, possibly too visible. DeltFall was assigned to a planet at the same time as another survey group, Preservation AUX, which is where Murderbot enters the picture. It had been contracted by Preservation AUX to provide security. Standard gig, or so it thought. But that's when things started to go sideways.
Full survey. This is Mensa, head of Preservation AUX. Please.
The missing files that sparked everything. The entire thing kicks off with something that seems relatively minor. Missing data. Preservation AUX discovers that their planetary information packets are incomplete. Sections are just gone, and when they reach out to DeltFall to ask if their team experienced the same thing, DeltFall immediately responds. No suspicion, no delay. They share their complete data sets with Preservation AUX without hesitation. This act of transparency, it's pure DeltFall, professional, cooperative, and ethical. The kind of team that believes in sharing data for safety and mutual benefit. Ironically, this moment of honesty is what puts a massive target on their backs. Because while both groups were focused on survey missions and basic planetary science, someone else was watching from the shadows. Grey Chris.
DeltFall survey. This is Preservation survey.
The massacre of DeltFall. Here's where things get dark. Grey Chris Corporation, a massive and notoriously shady player in the Rim's corporate landscape, had a secret. They were aware that the planet both DeltFall and Preservation AUX were exploring contained alien remnants. Dangerous, valuable tech that could be weaponized or exploited for profit. And they were willing to do whatever it took to keep that secret buried. So they attacked. DeltFall, despite having 3 sec units and a well-established base, was completely caught off guard. Grey Chris launched a brutal assault on their camp, killing every human member of the team. It was an organized, precise extermination. And when it was over, DeltFall no longer existed. Well, not entirely.
Question answered.
Sec units salvaged and reprogrammed. 2 of DeltFall's 3 sec units were recovered, not by Preservation AUX, but by Grey Chris. They were taken apart, repaired via cubicles, and reprogrammed to serve Grey Chris's interests in future operations. These weren't just stolen units. They were twisted into tools of a corporation that had just murdered their clients. This is part of what makes Grey Chris so dangerous. Their ruthlessness isn't just economic, it's personal, it's violent, and it violates every supposed rule of operation in the Corporation Rim. Murderbot eventually comes across footage of the DeltFall massacre, and it can't stop watching, over and over, frame by frame, trying to analyze, trying to understand what went wrong, and deep down, trying to punish itself for not being able to prevent it.
Please fall back to the hopper immediately.
What's going on?
DeltFall's legacy, trauma, guilt, and purpose. This moment changes Murderbot forever. Even though it wasn't contracted to DeltFall, even though it had no obligation, the event becomes the defining trauma of its life. It's the point where it starts to question everything: its programming, its identity, its capacity to care. In Murderbot's own words, it doesn't know why it keeps watching the footage, but the readers and viewers of the series do. It's trying to process grief, guilt, rage, confusion. DeltFall represents what Murderbot couldn't stop, but also what it begins to fight against from that point on: a system that allows corporations to murder innocents and bury the evidence. DeltFall in the investigation against Grey Chris. Even in death, DeltFall isn't done. Once word gets out about the massacre, the legal and political consequences ripple across the corporation rim. DeltFall's parent entities and partners send solicitors and investigators to Preservation Aux. Their data is used as evidence in a massive, slow-burning case against Grey Chris. But the investigation quickly stalls. First because Murderbot vanishes, taking some of the most critical footage with it, and later because Dr. Mensah is kidnapped after a meeting with DeltFall representatives. What follows is a high-stakes hostage situation that drags in Preservation Aux, the company, Grey Chris, and even Palisade. Eventually, after a dramatic rescue and another corporate betrayal, Grey Chris loses support and begins to collapse. But make no mistake, DeltFall is the match that lit the fire. Their death wasn't meaningless, it was a turning point.
That did it.
DeltFall theories. What else was going on? Now let's talk theories. Because while the books don't tell us everything about DeltFall, the fandom and the Murderbot TV series have raised some compelling possibilities. Was DeltFall getting too close to the alien remnants? Some fans believe DeltFall's data packets might have contained detailed information about the alien constructs that even Grey Chris didn't have. The fact that Grey Chris struck so hard and fast suggests panic. Maybe DeltFall uncovered something critical and was on the verge of reporting it. The series hints at this too, showing small anomalies in DeltFall's scans and notes, suggesting they were getting close to something big.
I can't do that.
Was there a spy in DeltFall? Another theory. Grey Chris had a mole within DeltFall's team, feeding them updates. How else did they know the layout of the camp, the schedule, the security setup? There's evidence in the TV series that one of the DeltFall members may have had unauthorized transmissions before the attack, possibly a leak or a betrayal. Were DeltFall's sec units trying to resist? We know 2 of their section units were reprogrammed by Grey Chris, but what if one of them, like Murderbot, had already begun breaking through its governor module? Could one of those units have tried to defend the team, only to be wiped and overwritten? This would add another layer of tragedy and raise questions about how many sec units have begun waking up unnoticed.
I'm here to save you! Stop hitting me! Duck!
Our nerdy thoughts: DeltFall might only appear in flashbacks, reports, and trauma logs, but they are central to the emotional and narrative arc of the Murderbot Diaries. They represent what the Corporation Rim can take from people and what can spark rebellion, resistance, and justice. For Murderbot, DeltFall is more than a job gone wrong. It's a symbol of what it wants to stop happening again. It's the reason it continues to fight, to protect, and to defy the very system that built it. And for us as readers and viewers, DeltFall is a reminder: in a world where people are treated like resources, compassion, cooperation, and truth still matter, and sometimes they cost everything. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think DeltFall was close to exposing something even bigger? Could their sec units have developed awareness like Murderbot? And how do you feel about their role in Murderbot's journey? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it interesting. We'll be back soon with more deep dives into the Murderbot Diaries and the evolving world of sci-fi. Until then, stay human, or at least try to.
No. It was better to keep them in the dark.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.